We have the album just about to come out. We're going to play American Boys next week on our latest from the greatest feature here on
Thank
Greatest
you.
Hits 98.1. Yeah, you're welcome. I've
Thank you.
been listening to it a lot,
Wonderful.
especially this morning to really lock that in. Of course, the whole album is still to come. So I'll start with the title track. How did you, as you're writing this, we're dealing with obviously the legends of American rock and R&B and everything that created that. How did you know to pick certain artists to fit the lyrical flow of the verses?
I worked with another songwriter on this particular track named Vip Vipperman, and he has written songs for a lot of artists. He's also my guitar player, and it's crazy because he is the best slide guitar player and just amazing instrumentalist, but he also has this gift. So we worked together on this, and I came up, well, it's really hard to delineate who did what, but the idea of American Boys invented rock and roll, that was something I did, and I wanted people to realize that, America has been the source of blues and jazz and rock and roll, not the British. We love our British rock and roll stars, that we really do. But they'd be the first to admit that our bluesmen and our rock and roll icons were their inspiration, and they always do that, But in my opinion, you can't really top Elvis Presley. Those records that he made, you can't top them. They're magic. You can't top Fats Domino. You can't top Johnny Cash, and especially you can't top Buddy Holly. And when I was growing up, and Buddy Holly died in 1959, if you died, it didn't matter what you were in the America that I grew up in, you were put in the past. You weren't played much on the radio anymore. You were dead. Now we seem to live in a culture, we live among the dead. We live among people who have come before, as well as the ones that are around now. And actually, the music that comes from the past is more enduring and more powerful than what there is around, because it just passes very quickly. And yet you're still going to hear Peggy Sue. You're still going to hear American Pie. You're still going to hear these songs, Only the Lonely. So the reason they're still around is because they're great. And why are they great? I think they're great because the artists that made them were able to concentrate fully on what they were doing. I think it's very difficult for people to concentrate now on anything. And I don't, and also people are afraid. They're afraid to say anything. They're afraid to, have a position about anything, or they get crucified. I mean, it's just, you have to be completely bland, in order to stay around.
Did you have a thematic approach to writing the songs, arranging the songs, even putting them in a certain order on the album?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, that's an art form, actually. Programming, it's called. And you want to have key changes and rhythm changes, and sometimes cluster a song with another one that might extend the concept or the idea or the story of the song, so that you have, an integration. It's funny because you also have to put your best foot forward immediately. When I made the American Pie album, I wanted the last song to be American Pie. But I was overruled on that, and that was the right thing to do. No, it had to be the first song, because you wanted to, it was obviously the the big dog, and it had to come right away because people don't, unless they're huge fans, they're not going to wade through a lot of other stuff to get to the best thing. They're going to want it right away. You have to grab them. So that album sold millions, and the single sold millions. But again, it's part of that is the programming to, make people grab them and pull them into the record. It's a whole lot of things you have to know how to do in order to be in this game for any length of time. It's so easy to strike out, and get sent to the showers. And it happens all the time. In the old days, if you made a record, an album, and it sold nothing, you might get a chance to make another album, but that would be it for you, and then you'd be making it, for some little company somewhere. In my case, the first album was Tapestry. I had a chart record with And I Love You So and Backed by Castles in the Air, who became two very famous songs. And I was on all the FM radio stations, so there was energy and activity and enthusiasm about the Tapestry album back in 1969 and 70. And then when American Pie came out, I actually lost half my audience because they thought I was a sellout. Now I was making hit records because, the Tapestry album was underground, as they used to call it. It was for the smart people, and now I'm making hit records for the dummies. So I lost my audience and had to start all over. So, my career is completely backwards and upside down and inside out. But here I am, 50-some years later, and they're still playing all my songs. I mean, recently I got certified by the RIAA as having, and I'm not meaning to brag or anything, but I've sold 50 million albums in my career. Now, for a guy like me, who's not a mega star, that's a lot of records. And I know because I've seen the money, I know it, they sell all over the world.
Hey, you got a new album coming out in 2 days, so it continues. The legacy continues, and the art is not over. It continues to go. Don McLean, thanks for doing this tour today, and it's always an honor to get a chance to talk to you. Looking forward to the new album and the new song. All the best, and take care.